If vampirism spreads by biting each other, where did the first vampire come from? Can whales and dolphins get high via their blowhole? Answers to these questions and more on this episode of This Paranormal Life! Hello and welcome back to This Paranormal Life, the weekly comedy podcast where every Tuesday, me, Kit Mulvenna, this guy Rory Powers, who's sitting across from me, get into a different paranormal case, deciding by the end of the episode whether we think it's really paranormal or not. How are you doing today, Rory?
I'm doing fantastic. Can't wait to dive in to another paranormal case. We're back, guys. It's This Paranormal Lifetime. And not only is it Tuesday, the spookiest day of the week, it's also October, the spookiest month of the year.
Yeah.
Some of you might be able to see if you're watching the video version. Right before recording this podcast, I lime biked to a store as fast as I could to pick up whatever Halloween decorations were available.
Play the music. This is the Cribs, the architectural digest of our studio.
No, don't do it because it was bad. They were very low on supplies. So what you're seeing is a little bit of caution tape and some bats.
Some bats. Well, don't put yourself down. There's some cool netting. It's like cobwebs. That is mostly it.
I want to apologize. I really want to apologize.
No, it is awesome. We are having a great spooky season so far. We hope you are too. We are hoping you're enjoying coming on the journey with us too on our Thursday episodes. Hope you're loving those.
Hey, we don't need... You know what's the spookiest part of this office right now?
Go on.
How I feel inside.
Why?
Because we went out drinking last night.
Yeah, well, we had a lot to celebrate. Ayo! I don't know if you're watching this right now. If you're watching on YouTube, on Spotify, we are holding two very heavy awards.
Yes.
Two awards!
Insane.
This is being recorded a little bit in advance, so you might have seen this already on Instagram if you follow us on Instagram. Instagram.com/This Paranormal Life. We will have broken the news there at some point that we won 2 British podcast awards.
Yes, best entertainment and best comedy. So you know your boys had to we turned up so hard last night, Phil's not here. He's gone.
It's like midday.
He just didn't show up.
We don't know where he is. We don't know where he is. Hopefully he's still alive. He was alive as of like midnight last night. That's what we know.
Yeah, last time I saw him, he was doing a line of cocaine so large that I thought it was a witch's finger.
Gotta beep that out. He wasn't Phil's mum and dad who probably listened to this. It was a great night. It was a tremendous night. We partied appropriately hard, I would say, for winning 2 national awards.
Yeah, they said, this award goes to This Paranormal Life. And I just stood up and said 4 Jaeger bombs. Yeah. And the guy said, I'm not a waiter. I'm here to help people to their seats. And I said, okay, tequila soda limes then. Yeah. 4. And the Jaeger bombs, really quick.
We're talking low double figures of drinks each. Low double figures.
Yeah. I had a buzzball before the awards.
So we are hurting inside and out. The hat is on, the baseball cap is on. I don't look great, but here we are. We're getting on with it. This is spooky season. We're bringing the award home for the commune, for the community.
Listen, I'm like one of those old-timey baseball players that would drink like 14 beers and then go hit a couple home runs the next day. Yeah. I'm an elite athlete, all right? I can investigate the paranormal while hungover.
And I will say, if you...
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I thought it was a burp. Sorry.
I'm batting in the top 0.1 percentile of players. And when I say batting, I mean throwing up everywhere. I am in the top percentage of people vomiting on this podcast.
Can we get into the story, please?
Yes, we can.
I'm ready.
Actually. You're right, Rory. This week is like every other. We have a brand new paranormal tale we got to get to the bottom of as well. You don't win awards by just throwing up on a recording constantly. You have to actually investigate the paranormal, it turns out. We're going to winter 1987. It's a cold, rainy December afternoon in West Yorkshire. The wind howls down a quiet village street. At the end of this street lies a country pub with a coal fire in the corner. The landlady talks to the one customer there, Archie Parsons, an old coal miner and regular in the pub. Both of these people are from the area and as such have absolutely perfect typical local accents. I don't know what to tell you, Archie. I've heard nought from Bill all day.
He's usually in here long before me. I hope he hasn't got lost on the moor.
Archie, Bill's crossed that moor every afternoon for 15 years, rain or shine. He's not lost, he'll be here any minute.
I don't know, Doris. There's something strange in the air these days. People have spotted strange lights in the night sky these past few evenings.
Bill slams the door open, but rather than his usual enthusiastic self, his face is white and he looks disheveled. Bill staggers towards the bar.
The usual, Bill. A pint of bitter.
Stronger. Whiskey.
What happened, Bill?
I met a man up on Ilkley Moor. He just had a very strange experience indeed. He told me all about it. I think I need another drink before I can repeat it. I set off, just like I always do, cutting across the edge of Ilkley on my way up to the pub there. I was startled when I saw a chap coming down off the hillside. He looked frightened and confused. He approached and asked me where the nearest village was. I pointed down the hill and said I was on my way there for a drink myself. I said there's a shop, a B&B, a post office, anything he'd need. He said, "What about a paranormal investigator?" "A paranormal investigator?" I said. "What the devil for?" He looked me right in the eye and said he'd seen an alien.
Whoa.
Rory, today we're investigating one of the UK's most infamous UFO cases, the Ilkley Moor incident. Now, the man in question here was Philip Spencer, or at least that's the pseudonym he went under once he went public with his account. Spencer, a retired police officer originally from London, had recently moved to the area to be closer to his wife's family. He was intrigued by the stories that had been circulating lately in the area about strange lights on Ilkley Moor, and he had decided to take a look for himself.
Yeah, it's going to be a little surprising if you move from London, the big city, to a small town to kind of escape some of the chaos of London life.
Yeah.
And the first thing that happens is that you discover intergalactic life.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, I really just wanted to like have my own house and have some chickens or something. And immediately you open your door and some guy's like, "Good morning." And you're like, oh, f***ing hell. This is way crazier than London.
You're like, you know what? Maybe I will like Yorkshire. I'll just get into the local way of life. Going down to the pub, pint of bitter, sit in the corner and read my book. Opens the door to the pub. It's the cantina from Star Wars. Guys with just bugs for a face and tentacles coming out their head.
Can I get a Guinness? It's like, is that just what you guys talk like in the countryside? I don't know. Okay. He pours purple slime in a glass. It's like, come on! At least serve me liquid.
I'll take a pint of the local ale.
To be fair, I have been places in the UK countryside where people look and sound like that. So, not the craziest thing.
Yeah. It's like, I live in the north of Ireland. That's how English people think we sound, for reference. And so he set out on his mission to investigate the lights with all the tools an investigator needs, apparently. A camera to snap paranormal evidence.
Yeah.
Good idea. And a compass, presumably to be able to find your way home after you get abducted and probed.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow. Even when we go ghost hunting, we bring more than that.
Yeah, we bring a camera, compass, and lube.
Yeah, and a baseball bat.
The baseball bat is to kill yourself with after you see the horrors from other galaxies.
I thought maybe because this guy was an ex-cop, I was like, well, at least he'll have a gun. But famously, you hand in your badge and gun when you're let go from the force. So
yeah,
he's probably badgeless and gunless.
They do have guns in English police, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
they've got tasers or something.
I have this the wrong way around. I think back home they've guns, but I think in England they don't. Maybe sometimes they do. Yeah, maybe sometimes. There definitely are armed police for sure. He planned to cross the moor northwards and visit his father-in-law's farm on the other side. Making his way across the terrain and taking some photos of the rock formations on the way, Spencer was suddenly stopped in his tracks. Just ahead of him, a strange-looking figure stood on the trail. The creature was, quote, dark green and about 4 feet tall.
Whoa.
With an oversized head and long, thin arms. Yeah, that'll do it. The figure made a gesture that Spencer believed to mean stay away. But despite this gesture, Curiosity took over, and Spencer followed the creature as it fled into the mist.
That's brave.
Yeah.
Into the mist?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Lord, don't never go into the mist.
And this little guy was faster than he thought. He wasn't able to keep up, but before long, he realized what he was moving towards. Out of the mist, he could see a dome-shaped craft rising from the moor, making a loud humming sound.
Whoa.
He described the craft as being of a whitish color and consisted of 2 saucer-shaped parts that were attached one on top of the other. Quite like that description of a flying saucer. I looked to see if there was an artist's interpretation. There isn't, that I'm aware of, but we can kind of paint that picture in our minds.
Well, I assume you did it then, if there wasn't one.
Yeah, for sure.
You didn't draw anything?
Sorry, I did. And I'm just looking around for...
There's no pens behind you. There's no pens anywhere in this office.
Yeah, you're right. I'm an artist. Podcasting is art. I'm an artist.
I
could interpret what he's done here. I have a white page. That helps, because the thing was white-ish, he said. And
there's a big gap here in the page because there's no evidence. So, yeah, perfect. We have space. All right, Kit is doodling now on his notes. I assume try to bring to life the craft that we're talking about in today's story.
Okay, carry the 1. Okay, I think we're probably working with something a little like this.
Okay. You really didn't have to draw the alien, too.
I just think it helps to imagine the alien next to the craft. This is kind of what he might have been looking at on the moor that day.
Yeah, sure, but you drew him with an enormous penis.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry, get your mind out of the gutter. What are you talking about?
Is that what you think the craft looks like?
Sorry, penis... that is...
We don't have to talk about
I believe
penis.
the alien to be potentially 3-legged.
Is this what you think the craft looks like?
Sorry, why are you so obsessed with dicks all of a sudden?
Is this what you think the craft looks like?
Maybe. Well, they described it as 2 saucers kind of on top of one another.
With these nipples
With
in the middle?
nipples?
Look at it!
Bro, you need to get off the hub, my dude. You got, sexy stuff on the brain. No one said nipples. They look sure a little like spinning tops or something. It's a 3-legged creature standing next to a couple of spinning tops.
Okay. At least we've got some kind of visual today.
But he didn't get a moment to even take in what was happening before the craft rose from the ground and quickly disappeared into the night sky. Spencer was left shaking. I assume his compass was spinning around and around in a circle. He decided to head immediately to the nearest village where he shared his account with, yes, our local Bill.
Nice.
He was really shook up. Now, I know there's a chance he might have been making the whole thing up, but he seemed genuinely disturbed. As we walked onto the main street, he pulled out his watch and he looked confused. An old clock on the church spire was 2 hours ahead of his. Of course, he might have tampered with his watch before I met him, but then something else happened I can't explain. When he pulled out his compass, it was confused. When he turned to face the front of the Pig and Partridge here, a pub we both know faces north, the compass pointed, well, south. So, we have a couple of hallmarks of alien visitation, potentially missing time in the form of the watch being out of kilter, and then maybe, well, I don't know if the compass is really a thing we've seen before, but yes, a compass being all jazzed up.
Yeah, I mean, that's weird for the compass still to not be working once you've left the scene of the encounter.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if maybe it was going haywire while the aliens are kicking about and the craft is flying around your head. But then just later that day, for it still to be spinning around like a Beyblade?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is. In any case, Philip Spencer took his experience to local UFO investigators Peter Howe and Jenny Randalls. Howe described that at first he was, quote, extremely skeptical, but his opinion gradually changed the more he learned about Spencer. Because the wild story wasn't the only thing Spencer took to the investigators. Crucially, he provided them with evidence.
Whoa.
When he had first encountered this green figure on the trail, he had instinctively grabbed his camera and shot off a few snaps before following it up the path.
Yes.
The result of one snap, in particular, propelled this case from talking shite in the pub to national news story.
Wow, okay.
Rory, behold, the Ilkley Moor alien photo.
This is great. You know I always blast Kit on this show for never providing photographic evidence.
Never?
So today, to be talking about an alien case where we have photos, this is promising, guys. This is great.
Here we go.
Okay.
Not a million miles away from my drawing, I'll be honest.
I really don't know what to tell you guys. It's I don't know why it was nighttime in my head. It's daylight.
It's day.
It's day. It's just like a photo of a field.
Yeah, we should get into this actually. I don't know if you've been to the Moors. The Moors is kind of like it feels like it needs explaining to like American listeners or something.
Sure, and me, why not?
And I've been to these places, but I can't even really describe it. But it means like an area of wilderness.
Right.
But it's not forested. It's kind of like, think like the top of a mountain. It's like there is shrubbery and plants and whatever. And it kind of hills and it undulates. And I think it is probably at a decent altitude. I don't know. And there's a lot of wildlife, but it goes on for miles and miles and miles. And so it's kind of like an area of outstanding natural beauty, as they say.
Right. And yes, we're calling it the Moors, but some people might call it the Moors.
The Moors.
The barren Moors.
It's a very distinct to the English countryside.
Yeah.
There's several moors all around the country.
And this is a photo of the Moors. The photo is punched in on one section in particular where there is a little alien just kind of peeking out from a rock. I do love the second photo that you've included because the second photo, they've just it's like a frame by frame analysis, but every frame they've clearly just turned him into even more of they've turned him green. He gets more green in every one.
Well, they have not done like some kind of Toy Story CGI. What they've done is, I assume, they've done a kind of color. They've changed the colors of the image in order to make you be able to see the detail differently.
Kinda.
It's like whenever
they did turn him green though.
For sure.
There's no difference in these two pictures except the second one. They made him green.
They made him green.
Yeah.
But to make him stand out against the background.
No, it's not.
It is.
To make him look like an alien.
Well, that too. They could have made him pink.
They could have made it.
Hold on. Did we not get a description? What color was he, please?
You're like, they wanted him
the green figure on the trail. He was green in real life.
They wanted that
green in real life
to stand out against the woods, so they gave him a little ray gun and a lightsaber. It's like, okay, they're just trying to make him look like an alien.
Yeah, the original picture is too shit to see the color.
Yeah,
it is probably how you would describe underexposed. The Moors and everything kind of washes to kind of muddy colors. But he did describe it in his description as green.
Dude, how you getting outrun by this little This guy looks like he's about 3'2", and you can't catch him? That's crazy.
Bro, I can't catch a rat. I can't catch a rabbit. They're pretty small.
Okay, you got me there.
I got you there.
Yeah, you should be able to catch.
In fact, any animal pretty much that's smaller than you is super fast.
But they're hard to catch because of the nimbleness of them. You could outrun a rat.
I don't know if that's true.
If it was you and a rat and a gun went off and it was just a straight line, I think I could outrun a rat. I think.
It's like, did I shoot the rat? Why did a gun go off?
Like a race, like Olympics. Okay, I googled top speed of rat, and a rat's top speed is around 8 miles an hour.
What's a human?
And this is only for quick bursts, as their body weight and structure are not suited for sustained high-speed running.
Right, and what's a human?
An average human can run a maximum speed of approximately 27 miles per hour.
That's not true. Humans cannot run 27 miles per hour. Talk about short bursts.
Oh, sorry, no, that was the fastest human of all time.
Yeah, although we do need to know whether we're comparing, are we talking about the fastest rat of all time versus the fastest human, or the average rat versus the average human, you know?
Yeah, it was that Ratatouille one. He learned how to make protein, and now he's really fast.
Because if we're talking about like my Uncle Gary, you know, we also got to talk about, has he had any beers that day? Like on an average day, he's drunk. So
how much cheese has the rat had? Yeah. There's so much to think about here. The average human can reach speeds of around 12 to 14 miles per hour. The average human can outrun the average rat.
Okay,
there you go. Don't tell people you don't learn anything from this podcast. You know.
What was the point of this? Oh yeah, you said you couldn't catch him.
Yeah, well,
he didn't. But like we said, this guy's like a retired policeman.
Right.
Have you ever seen a policeman run? It's not spectacular. Are you quite done berating these images?
Yeah, I think so.
But yet you can't say it didn't happen.
I can't say there wasn't something out there that he photographed. That is true. Yeah. And I think this is so clearly something. Like, this isn't a rock or something. This is so clearly something out there that I think what we're dealing with today is either something real or it has to be a hoax.
I'll take that gamble. I'll take those odds all day long. As a little bit of a spoiler, but it's relevant to talk about at this point, looking at the photograph, we may mention that Philip Spencer, which is likely a pseudonym, maintained his anonymity throughout the ensuing media storm, as well as granting the investigator, Howe, full copyright without charge, meaning that Spencer, the person who took the photograph, never made any money out of the story or the photograph or anything.
Okay.
Now, this photo was painstakingly scrutinized. Skeptics claimed it was too grainy to really conclude anything in particular, but others were sure that this was evidence of ET. I always love when this happened, because it's back in the day. Kodak laboratory staff could find no evidence of tampering on the original negative. I guess they just examine it. You know, you forget that it was this kind of physical art form back then. You could probably clearly see whether it was a real image or not.
Yeah, I don't think this has been tampered with. As I said, I think at most it's a real photo of a hoax.
And experts generally concluded that the figure has not been superimposed and shows no resemblance to local wildlife. I hope not. But why Ilkley Moor? Is there anything about this location in general? Is there any precedent that's been set in these surrounding areas? As it happens, Ilkley Moor is known as something of a UFO hotspot. There was even a Ministry of Defense UFO report summary from 2008, essentially a government report that mentions several reports of strange orange objects in the night sky around the Middleton and Ilkley area. So the government is definitely aware of UFOs in the Ilkley area. And also worth bringing up, we were just describing the moors of Britain, whether it's the North York Moors, Dartmoor, or Exmoor, or the less nearby Bodmin Moor. We have covered several paranormal cases in moors. Often it'll be a cryptid or something. I guess it plays into the idea of it being this like wild area.
Our audience keeps saying we've had enough, and we keep giving them more.
Oh, hey. Phil, delete that from the podcast.
No, don't
Phil,
delete that.
We're not having.
This is a heavy case, and I think it needs a little bit of levity.
The only thing heavy about this case is how much the alien is packing in his underwear.
Okay.
Rory. All right. I mean, we sometimes talk on the show about like where would UFOs want to land? Where would they want to hide? Where would they want to hang out? Is it possible? Some have suggested that the Moors maybe perfectly fit this description as being almost just a wide open landscape, which is ultimately fairly secluded. Okay, it's weird that there's nothing to hide behind, but it's also just so kind of vast and empty, devoid of people and buildings, that it might be the perfect place to camp out in your craft.
I guess we got to think about why they would be coming down. You know, are they there for a bit of probing, a bit of fun? Or are they there to mutilate some cattle? Or just get some wildlife? Grab a couple trees and bushes and some dirt and take off? We don't know. All we saw was that this guy was just hiding behind a rock running laps.
I know, yeah, because why are we in Yorkshire? I mean, beer is one of the main things you would go to Yorkshire for.
Pudding?
Yep.
I don't know if that was where Yorkshire pudding originally came from.
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay. Tea? Yorkshire tea?
And I don't know. So actually what you're saying is there's quite a lot of things you might go to Yorkshire for. These are a lot of delicious objects. I don't know if you've also tried to make Yorkshire puddings. Not that easy. So they might not have been able to master it on their planet. I like though that you brought up a motive, because that is something that might soon become clear. The Ilkley Moor incident doesn't quite end there. Let's return to our possibly fictional pub, the Pig and Partridge, which is mostly a literary device in order for us to explain what happened to our mostly anonymous UFO experiencer.
Right. Okay, so just before we dive right in.
Yeah.
This isn't a real pub. These aren't real people.
Might be. I don't know.
And the one person who is real is telling the story of a different person whose name we don't know.
Yeah.
Got it.
The photo's real.
I'm ready for conclusions.
The photo's real. The photo's real. And Spencer, which is not a real name.
Not a real name.
Communicated directly with the press, with UFO investigators.
We think. We don't know. We don't know his name.
We do know.
Okay.
Because the UFO investigators were like, yes, Spencer came here. And they're like, I guess that's not his real name. But he gave us the photo. We investigated it. Took it to Kodak.
I love that you were like, it's like, and by the way, Spencer, he didn't even make a penny off of this. It's like, because that's not even his name.
Alan did. Alan's rich. His real name. Yeah.
Spencer's not a real person. That's why.
There's so many smoke and mirrors. Why would you believe the idea that he didn't make any money? That's another lie.
Well, Bill, have you heard the latest? Your old pal from the moors changed his story.
You what?
Yeah, I heard he's been having some strange dreams, and them UFO investigators organised some sort of hypnosis, to see if they could get some more details about the whole thing.
Good Lord. Hypnosis. Did it work?
It worked a bloody treat.
You see, after a series of regressive hypnotherapy sessions, Spencer was able to piece together more memories from the day in question. Now, initially, he had described...
Okay, wait, hold on now. So...
Whoa, what's good?
So this tiny village has, a pub, a post office,
Yep.
A local shop, and a hypnotherapy... therapist office where you can go for regressional memory recovery.
This would be such a good trash Netflix series or something, wouldn't it? Just like, what is this weird town in the middle of nowhere with all these spooky things happening?
Yeah, I think it's the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
No one said that hypnotist was in that town.
Okay.
They have cars. They could have driven. Because you got to remember, this is often how these cases go. The experiencer they find a UFO investigator.
Yep.
And then that person, they connect them with everybody else, right? Because they've seen it 10 times before. And they'll be like, okay, well, Sally from 5 years ago, she went to this hypnotist and that was pretty effective. Let's try that with Spencer.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. I'm worried. I'm worried that because we're not getting any more physical scientific evidence, we're having to hypnotize our fictional witnesses into remembering things, which is
welcome to the world of UFO study. This happens 99% of the time, and normally it's horse shit. But let's see what they have to say,
okay,
and then we'll decide whether we think it's real or not.
Okay.
It's like, I'm just worried that this is just one person's experience and we have no proof to see if any of this is real. It's like, welcome to this paranormal life. Welcome to literally the world of the paranormal. This is what we do. It's like, get in the car. We don't know where we're going.
Why do you think we spent 10 minutes Googling the speed of rat? There's not that much to talk about today.
Now, initially, Spencer described the green creature as running off after he had shot the photo. Mm-hmm. But I love this. This quickly is turning into the worst ever Christopher Nolan movie. Stay with me. The therapy sessions revealed a whole new series of events that occurred before he shot the photo. Upon seeing the creature, he was instantly paralyzed and found himself levitating a few feet off the ground.
Whoa!
The green man began pulling him along toward the craft, like, quote, a child with a balloon on a string. They both entered the saucer, where a voice told him to be calm, and a group of green men began doing strange medical experiments on him, inserting stuff up his nose and mouth.
Do you think they're saying that they put things up his, quote, nose and mouth, the same way that he's calling himself Spencer and not his real name?
Yeah, the holes are also anonymous, are also pseudonyms. Yeah. The aliens put a probe up Spencer's nose.
A lot of air quotes
going on.
Then they jerked off my knee. It's like that last one didn't even make sense. You should have changed jerked off. Sorry, they wanked off my knee till I came. It's like, all right, we know what you're talking about.
I jazzed everywhere.
You need to substitute more words, Spencer.
Now, Spencer is at some point given a tour of the craft by these green men and notices he's looking down at Earth from a porthole. These creatures had, he's up.
Better porthole than porthole. Let me tell you, Spencer. Could be a lot worse.
The creatures had enormous 3-fingered hands and V-shaped feet with 2 huge toes, enormous eyes and a slit mouth, but no nose. He claims he was then seated in front of a screen and shown essentially at first what was apocalyptic imagery, nuclear explosions, famine and floods, tanks and soldiers, etc. I will say the idea of an intergalactic film screening is very intriguing.
Yeah. It's funny that the aliens obviously thought this would have some sort of effect on him mentally, showing him all this like war and conflict when that's what happens every morning when I open my Apple News app. I have all that footage beamed into my skull at like 9:30.
They thought they really cooked showing him this.
Yeah.
We've been compiling this video over human history. It's like, nothing is shocking to me anymore.
Yeah, I willingly see that on the news app every morning.
I love as well the idea of these aliens like rolling in the big TV like we used to have in school. You know, when the teacher couldn't be teaching a class anymore.
Yeah.
They were like, all right, bring in the TV, bring in the VCR. Puts in the tape. Humans, you must stop killing each other.
Behold the destruction of which your species is capable of. Wait. Sorry, I think I got the wrong HDMI cable. All right, hold on. Plug it in there at the back. No, that's HDMI 2. Yep. All right, now hit source. Yep, source there, and then go down to number 2. It's not coming through? Really? Well, it should be coming through because I have it from the display port into the back of...
Are you using the right remote?
Hold on.
There's another remote over here.
Let me see. Oh, we're in HDMI 1. We're put it in HDMI 1. Yeah. You know what? I actually have the file on my phone. I can play it there, and then I'll AirPlay it to the TV. Does that work? Do you need to turn on AirDrop?
He escaped. He jumped out the porthole. Yeah, I love that. It's like, the AI smoothing. Is that weird smoothing thing they do?
Yeah.
The interpolation. Oh, how do I turn that off? So while a film screening is a little unusual, the idea of being shown the history of mankind's destruction of the planet is actually an extremely common trope of UFO abductions and sightings.
It is a warning of what we're capable of.
Yes.
And we don't listen.
But Rory, this is where it gets really saucy. Sorry, strange word. Really interesting.
Yeah, you need to replace that.
I've set it up in a weird way now. Spencer was then shown a second film.
Ooh.
He has never revealed to this day the contents of the second film, always saying that the aliens who abducted him do not want humanity to know.
The what?
The contents
of
the
second film? Okay.
Yeah, what it was about.
Why'd they show it to him then?
I don't know. They wanted to share a secret. They wanted to see if it exploded his brain, I guess.
Yeah.
But they showed it to him and they were like, you can't tell anyone what was in that second one.
That's weird. That's weird.
And Rory, this is where it all starts to make sense. It explains everything. That's where he had been abducted on the craft for the 2 hours that was missing from his watch. Even the photo he took. He originally remembered the green man's gesture, remember? A warning, signaling for him to move away. No, he remembers more clearly. The little green alien was waving goodbye after he'd been dropped off.
Why would they do that? Why would they wave goodbye? They don't know what that means.
Well, we know from watching the Men in Black movies, stay with me here, when you get neuralized,
sure,
it wipes your memory.
Yeah.
That means your new memories start with a pen in front of your face.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So they're like, oh, and wiped. And then he's like, what? Where am I? He's like, bye.
Then you've arguably...
You've not wiped enough.
You've not wiped enough. Yeah. You've done a bad job of wiping. If their first memory is being face to face with the alien still, you did a bad job of wiping.
Yeah, or put on a costume, an outfit, a disguise, and then wipe it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying. It explains a lot. Look, while the story, yes, takes off in a pretty exponentially wild way after the hypnotherapy,
Sure.
this incident remains one of the UK's most famous UFO abduction stories. In fact, the GOAT of UK British UFO investigation, Nick Pope, who's very famous from having worked at the Ministry of Defence in their internal UFO investigations, and now is just within the UFO community, he includes the Ilkley Moor incident in his top 10 list of UFO incidents in the UK.
Ah, okay. Here's a question for you, because you're a camera guy.
Yeah.
You know, you like to shoot on film. This might be a stupid question. When you're snapping pictures on film and developing film, is there any type of extra data recorded in the shot? Or is it strictly the photo?
What do you mean?
You know, like, sometimes like those old VHS tapes
Yes.
will have like dates imprinted on them while you're recording. Or like, I think I have seen some film or cameras where you can snap a picture and there's like the little burnt in orange date of when the photo was taken.
Yes, there is such a thing as a data back, which in 1987 would have existed, but they were very infrequently used.
Okay.
They wouldn't be a common thing, but it is technically possible to have an attachment to your camera that would imprint the date and time. Otherwise, the only information that you would have is just the stock of the film being used, which I suppose would help the lab try and figure out what was going on. But,
right.
But no metadata, sadly.
Okay. Just trying to seeing if there's any way to analyze this photo, not to decide whether or not it's a real photo that was taken, but when it was taken, where it was taken.
Exactly when it was taken, yeah.
Because you could get some answers there, especially if there's missing time. Was it taken after the 2 hours, like he's allegedly saying? Was it taken at a different time of day?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't have it if we don't have any data.
That's a good point when it comes to more modern cases, though, that you forget that, I mean, it's come up, not to U-turn too hard in topic, but in the Epstein conspiracy.
That is a real turn.
Stay with me.
Wasn't expecting that.
But this is part of the fun of like them. They're trying to like, it really was hilarious whenever they were trying to be like, look, guys, he obviously killed himself, and we're going to prove it to you by releasing the CCTV footage from the cell, which is so wild when you say it out loud. They're like, we're going to release the cameras and you can see for yourselves. No one went in his cell the night that he died. And then everyone like dives into the metadata and everything, and they're like, why is the video just cuts out for 2 minutes at the stroke of midnight? And they were like, oh, the CCTV does that.
Yeah, every night.
Every night, like clockwork, at 11:58 p.m., all the cameras switch off, and then they restart again 2 minutes later.
The best part is I think they now have released all
the missing 2 minutes.
Missing 2 minutes, and then they're like, I thought you said, like, everyone said that the cameras stop recording and that is normal. Tape doesn't exist. Yeah. And they were like, that was a lie. We have it actually. And it's like, well, no, I don't believe this. Like, you must not, like, if we're just gonna lie and then like say, oh, that was a lie, but we do have it now.
It's so wild to be like, we're gonna show you the tape. There is 2 minutes missing. The exact amount of time it would take for a trained killer to kill someone and then vacate the scene.
Yeah.
That's just exactly 2 minutes is missing. That is so wild. I'm not even that into the conspiracy. Like, I loosely follow it.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that's going to only pour petrol on the fire that is the Epstein conspiracy. Getting back to this case though, Rory, we have to decide at the end of every episode of This Paranormal Life whether we think this case is real or not. In the case of the Ilkley Moor UFO incident, we have one witness, yes, but with some pretty cool photographic evidence to contend with. What do you think today?
Yes. This is a great story that all really hinges on this photograph.
On one image. This one here.
Nope, that's the one you drew of the alien with the penis.
Well, I think it's pretty relevant.
I think this story to me would be a little bit stronger if I even knew the name of the guy who took the photo.
We don't need to know it.
We really do. We really do.
Because you know, mate, we know he didn't make any money. You know, we know he didn't want the fame, didn't want the glory. He wanted to be anonymous. So isn't that good?
No, it's not.
It's kind of good.
No, it could, because it could be like a 14-year-old boy.
Well, it's not, because the UFO investigators work with them. I mean, the
You
thing
can
is,
work with a boy.
the thing is, we know something about him as long as it's true.
We don't know if it is.
About his job, lived in London. He moved to Yorkshire.
Yeah,
He was just. You have to remember, this is the 80s. So like,
How do people-
so just giving someone a fake name was all you had to do to remain anonymous. They had no other way of like tracking you.
I don't know. This
like-
feels
like
like
me-
someone who would be trackable. If he's an ex-police officer from London who recently moved to this small town, that's got to be one man.
But I guess the point is like, but why would they want to like find out his real identity? If he's there, contactable, interviewable, meeting with the UFO people, meeting with, press, talking to press, handing over the physical evidence himself. He's obviously just like, look, bro, it's like the Vice documentary. It's like, look, bro, just don't show my face. Just don't print my name.
Yeah.
It's not like he's like mailing things anonymously. Like, we don't even know where he lives.
But I guess from the perspective of these paranormal investigators and these people who are doing the case, the second they're like, oh, by the way, I want to be completely anonymous. It's like, cool. Well, there's the door then, because I'm not gonna waste my time like putting you through hypnosis to tell a story when then I'm having to be the guy who's telling people about this.
Bad approach to investigating, because that's how lots of crimes work. Think of all the people who go into like the legal system being like, I want something bad happened to me. I want to go through the legal system. I want to remain anonymous during it.
Well, that's different.
I'm going to work with the lawyers. I'll work with the courts, but I don't need it to be printed anywhere. I don't need it to be public.
I don't know. I just think immediately no one's going to believe this story.
Believe it now. The photo remains, Rory, one of the most fantastic photos in UFO history. I'm just going to say that.
He's also not waving goodbye in the photo.
He's not waving. No, well, it was right before he started. It was before he ran away, actually. After he waved goodbye, probably.
Okay. I think it's a no from me this week, unfortunately. We don't know anyone in this.
I have no idea what I think, actually. I do think it's
the one person
no.
you said is real is called Mr. How. Like, how would you believe this horseshit?
I think it is a no, but not for the same reasons as you. I just think something about it just gives me hoax vibes.
Yes.
And I think to me, the anonymity is maybe slightly more, I think that's the point. It's not like deranged person who doesn't know what they saw. The anonymity at worst is hoax vibes. You're worried that it'll come out and your name will be disgraced.
Yes. Listen, for me, when it comes to paranormal stories, I have a simple scale, and sliding one slides the other. And the way it works is, the more unbelievable the claim is, the more it is necessary for you to reveal yourself, So if this individual today was someone who said they had an encounter with a UFO, got radiation burns, was sent to the hospital where doctors had, graphs proving that there was some sort of effect on their body, that is a very believable story. I don't need your name. There's records here. There's other individuals. You can stay anonymous. You can put a bag over your head if you want. If you're saying you were brought on board a UFO and screened alien home movies, and then they neuralized you and waved goodbye and took off on a ship running at the speed of rat, then you gotta tell me your first name. You gotta tell me something about yourself. I need the social security card.
Okay, I'll tell you your first name. Schmeichel. Jordan.
First name, mind ya. Second name, business.
I'll give you all of that. I don't disagree with that.
Sure. I came on a little hot there, guys. I got a little yelly.
That was weird. I think it's.
I'm just a little hungover.
I like it.
I'll be real with you.
I like it as a story. We need to go get lunch. I like it as a story. I really like it, and I love the movie style twist of the reveal of, like, they showed me a movie. What was it? It showed the destruction of the human race. That's unbelievable. And then, like, on your deathbed, pulling your son in close and being like, it's like, what is it, Dad? It's like, there was a second film.
That's cool. Yeah.
What was it? I can't remember. I don't even know my own name. To be honest.
I've been anonymous so long, I don't remember. But I'm just glad I could spend my final moments with you, my son. You don't have a son. Damn, I've been anonymous so long.
I'm a male nurse. Yeah.
I thought I had a kid.
Yeah, and maybe in this case, sometimes a story is simply too good to be true.
You're not dying. This is a furniture store. You just lay down on a sofa. What?
You're just tired. He's like, beep, beep, beep. You're just making the beeps yourself. You're just doing it all yourself. It's in your head. That's how I feel at the end of this podcast. Thank you for listening to this episode, this investigation into the UFO of Ilkley Moor. If you live in Yorkshire, you live near the moor, let us know if you've seen anything mad out on the moor. I'm sure there is at least one or two listeners who have. Send that into this Paranormal Life podcast at gmail.com. Guys, if you cannot get enough This Paranormal Life this month, you're lying, because we're kind of bringing you so much that would be impossible. Because today we got this episode all month long. If you've been living under a rock, we've been doing double episodes every week. We've got our Thursday investigations into Area 51. That is continuing to the end of the month. We got some special stuff lined up for you on Patreon on the end of the month. Also, our behind the scenes after parties on Patreon are coming out every Friday. Yeah. We are just jam-packed this spooky season.
There's so much great stuff going on. We have more award ceremonies this month. It's a great time to be a fan of This Paranormal Life. And not just because of the podcast, but because it is October. We are barreling towards Halloween. I can't wait. I promise you, we'll get some better decorations for next episode. I mean, the quality of the decorations are really mirroring how I feel inside right now. So it's just kind of sad.
It looks great. We've got our orange lights cooking.
You.
It's good.
I needed that, dude. I needed that. I also need a McDonald's Sprite and a Happy Meal right now.
Okay, Rory's getting hangry. Let's get out of here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us this spooky season. Thanks for supporting us on Patreon. Head over there to get some more content this month. And hope you're enjoying your October. We will see you on Thursday.
Love you. He's usually in here long before me. I hope he hasn't got lost on the moor. Don't know what that was. I sound like Hagrid.
No, I think we're both killing it. Archie.